Hello, hello, my friends. Another candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Kringle candle Cranberry. Now, I have actually had this candle in the past. In fact, I had it in one of their painted 3-wick vessels, which unfortunately this fragrance is no longer available in. So this fragrance I actually ended up repurchasing way back, I want to say around Mother's Day of this year, when they were doing one of their buy one, get one candle sales. Kringle will occasionally do that a couple of times throughout the year where these large 2 wicks, usually you'll be able to pick them up, like I said, buy one, get one free. And essentially at that 50% off price, that is usually the time where I will purchase candles that I have loved in the past and want to have in my collection for standby in maybe seasons to come. So that should give you a little bit of a spoiler alert about how I feel about this fragrance, and how I feel about the performance of this candle. But considering that this is a fragrance that has been in the Kringle lineup for a little while and I have not documented my thoughts here on my channel, I thought, you know what, this is honestly the perfect time of year to go ahead and share my thoughts. So as I stated, this is one of their large 2-wick vessels. This candle does retail for $31. This is 22 ounces of 100% soy wax. This candle is also available in their extra large 4-wick 32-ounce vessel. That's 32 ounces of soy wax, as well as their daylight and wax melt formulas. The specific pour date of this candle that I am reviewing is October 17th, 2024. Fragrance notes are listed as top notes, juicy orange, bright raspberry, mid notes, sparkling cranberry, frosted juniper berry, base note, sugared pine, sweet vanilla bean. All right, so as I stated, I have actually had this candle in the past and I enjoyed it so much that I did decide to repurchase it. Now, what does my nose smell? You guys, to me, this fragrance is one of the most beautiful scents to be a transitional fragrance from all of your really heavy, typical fall fragrances. Now, I'm talking about like your apple and your pumpkin. I personally, at this point in the year, am a little tired of those fragrances, but I'm not yet quite ready to go full blown Christmas. And I feel like this is a type of fragrance that is perfect to fill in the gap. My nose definitely detects cranberry in this fragrance. However, it's interesting that they note that there is a top note of juicy orange and bright raspberry, because I do get some brightness and some sweetness from other fruit fragrances in this. Now, is it still predominantly cranberry? Absolutely. But I think that those other fruit notes in the top notes lend a little bit of sweetness that kind of cuts into what is normally a very tart berry to my nose. Cranberry, like I think of like a cranberry juice, it tends to be very, very tart to my nose. There is a sweetness to it, but cranberries on their own tend to have a little bit more tartness. And like I said, I feel like those two top notes lend a little bit more sweetness. Now, what makes this a little bit more interesting are those, it says a frosted juniper berry. Again, there's a little bit of coolness to this fragrance. It's not overly like ozonic or outdoorsy. I'm not implying that at all. That base note of like a sugared pine and a sweet vanilla bean, I don't really get any kind of like creaminess to this. And this is not an overtly tree fragranced type of scent. So if you're hoping that that pine note will really come out, no. To me, you guys, this is just a very sweet cranberry fragrance. Again, not overly tart, not overly robust, just a nice, vibrant cranberry. And that's why I went ahead and repurchased it, because like I said, I think that this is a great change up from all of the spicy fragrances that I have been enjoying over the last couple of months. Truthfully, you guys know, since I review candles, I've been burning a lot of fall fragrances since the end of July. So my heart is definitely feeling ready for a change. Now, this fragrance I have actually currently been burning with Kringle candles Away in a Manger, which to me is my all-time favorite like winter orange fragrance. It's kind of an orange pomander type of fragrance. It's more like, I would say, like orange and clove, a little bit heavier on the clove than some of their other orange fragrances, like Melanie's Vintage Pomander in their Reserve line. I did also mention this last week, you guys. Away in a Manger, I have been notified, has been retired. So I forgot to check on the website when I was filming this. I purchased last week when they started to put those painted 3 wicks on sale for 50% off. I went ahead and purchased 4 of Away in a Manger because that is really the only format. I believe it's only available now in that 3 wick, as well as maybe some wax melt. And I don't know if it's still available in the daylights, but anyways, if you like the Away in a Manger fragrance and the 3 wicks are still in stock, run, do not walk, because they are clearancing those out and it will not return. But anyways, getting back on the rails from that tangent, I love burning this fragrance with Away in a Manger. I've also been burning this fragrance with Homeworks' Frozen Balsam. This goes really nicely with what I would say are quote unquote cooler type of like tree fragrances. I will have a review of Frozen Balsam coming up this week, and you'll understand why when I do that review, why this one pairs really nicely with that scent. I could also see this going really nicely with the new Christmas Tree Farm fragrance. If you want to pair a cranberry scent with a tree scent for the holidays, I feel like that would be a really nice pairing. But overall, you guys, I find this fragrance to be quite versatile. I think that this would also go nicely after the holidays with, what's the fragrance I was just thinking of? Snowbird, Winter Wonder, any of those, this is going to go nicely with. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So I've actually had this one lit for, goodness, probably about 4.5 hours now. You can see nice clean wax pool, nice clean burn. The wicks are not overly aggressive. I actually don't even really need to trim these wicks, you guys. These are like perfect wicks. They don't get sooty, they don't get overly aggressive, but they do develop a nice enough wax pool where you can still enjoy a decent strength and throw on this candle. Now, I am going to say I'm going to give this one about a 7 in terms of strength and throw for me. I have been burning this candle occasionally in the bedrooms, either my master bedroom or my daughter's bedroom, which those are more closed concept spaces. However, I have burned this candle on the quilt rack on the wall in my living room. That is more open concept. And even from that place, you guys, this candle is throwing quite well for me. Like I said, I can smell it quite well throughout the living room, throw somewhat into the kitchen from that space. It's not overly strong by the time it gets to the kitchen. But again, this is just a very, very nice, pleasant fragrance, right on par, truthfully. 7 is usually the strength and throw that I typically expect from these large 2-wick vessels. So if you wanted a little bit greater strength and throw on this candle, I think the 4-wick is probably going to be the format to go with. But again, if you have more of a closed concept space, then I think that you'll be pretty happy with the performance of this candle. Overall, you guys, I definitely give this one 2 thumbs up, especially considering that I repurchased it. Let me know in the comment section down below if this is one of the candles that you have in your kind of like fall to holiday transitional rotation. Do you like burning this at the holidays more so? I would be curious to know. I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your full price purchase. I do know that, Kringle oftentimes runs some sales, and it's, while the discount code usually does not apply to sale items or bundled items, it does take a little bit of money off of route protection, as well as if you have any other full priced items. Say maybe you're throwing a reserve candle in, or maybe there's just a fragrance that you've loved and you just want to save money on the shipping and throw it into your cart. My discount code will apply to that. Please be informed that that is eligible for a commission, so please only use that code if you feel comfortable doing so. But if you found this review helpful, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.